Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Hello and welcome to the news here on Magic Bricks, now India's first property business channel. I'm Krishna Kumar. Let's take a look at the top stories that we're tracking.
Government is committed to provide housing for all by 2022. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana envisages construction of around 2 crore houses.
President Pranab Mukherjee sets the tone for the budget session, says the government is committed to housing for all, emphasizes on infrastructure and the ease of doing business. Property heavyweight Tata Housing has big plans to make small homes in the Noida market. Magic Bricks now learns that Tata Housing could partner with local builders for this mega project. That is a Magic Bricks Now exclusive. And in another exclusive, Magic Bricks now learns that marquee developers are queuing up to build Citco's brand new city Naina. We tell you who exactly has signed on. Straight up, President Pranab Mukherjee set the tone for the budget session of Parliament in his address to the joint session. The President emphasized on housing for all. He made it clear the government is committed to meeting its targets of building 5 crore new homes. Can home buyers now expect special provisions to expedite supply of affordable homes in the upcoming budget? Let's listen to what Pranab Mukherjee had to say today.
Government is committed to provide housing for all by 2022. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, launched on June 25, 2015, envisages construction of around 2 crore houses to benefit primarily slum dwellers, urban poor, and people from economically weaker sections and lower income groups of society. The mission intends to cover all 4,041 statutory towns in coming 5 years. In its first year alone, 2,011 townships in 27 states have been included under this mission. A total of over 4,25,000 houses have been sanctioned with a project cost of over rupees 24,600 crore.
President Mukherjee there kickstarting the budget session, but the government may not find everything smooth sailing, seeing that the opposition is up in arms on a whole host of issues. Clearly, the government is aware of the impending storm. Speaking after the President, Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed to the opposition to let Parliament function. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu also made a similar appeal. Listen in.
विश्व का ध्यान भी भारत के इस बजट सत्र पर है। पिछले कई दिनों से लगातार सभी दलों से विचार विमर्श चल रहा है। औपचारिकता से ऊपर उठकर के विचार विमर्श चल रहा है। 1 to 1 भी काफी बातें हो रही हैं और ये विश्वास मिला है कि संसद का समय का सदुपयोग होगा, सार्थक चर्चाएं होगी।
So we are ready to discuss. The government have nothing to worry about it at all. No problem at all on all these issues. We are on a strong wicket, whereas our critics, they are on a weak wicket, if I have to say in their political language.
Aside from the Parliament, the big budget fever has certainly taken the country by storm. So what do the home buyers expect from this budget to afford a home within the city? Maybe my colleague Ruchi Deshpande caught up with a bunch of home buyers in Pune. Let's listen in to find out what Punekars want from Finance Minister Arun Jaitley.
The city of Pune, and what we're here to find out is whether a young couple who has just started their lives can afford a home within the city, within their budget, and if not, what do they want the state government to do so in this upcoming budget 2016? So thank you so much for joining us, all of you. My first question to you, can you afford a home in the city of Pune?
My name is Satyam and I'm from Allahabad. Okay.
Right.
And when 2 or 3 years ago, when I came to Pune for a job,
Right.
I have a job here. I have a good job. I can live here. But when I think about purchasing a home,
Right.
because I cannot stay entire my life in a rented home. I need to be, my entire life is going to be in Pune itself.
Right.
I need to work here. So in that case, I need my own home. And whenever I think about, I look at the budget, I look at the hoardings, what is written, what is the price, and I cannot even imagine that I can buy home with this in this price. And that is sometimes I get what you say. It's not like I started thinking that I'll purchase a home maybe after 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. But there is no use to purchase a home after 25 years because I need to live now. If not life right now, then what is life after 25 years?
You face the same difficulty in terms of getting a house beyond the 1 BHK within the city of Pune, or if not, what is the difficulty that you face?
Yeah, recently there was a report in one of the newspapers that nearly 1 lakh to 80,000 to 1 lakh houses are vacant in Pune. So is it that there is no demand for those houses? There is definitely a demand for those houses, but the main thing which affects is the pricing.
Right.
And if in the main heart of the city, if you want to afford a house, it goes up to 1 BHK goes up to 60 lakhs or 50 lakhs, somewhat like that. So all the affordable houses, so-called affordable houses, are outside the city, which are 50 to 60 kilometers away from the city, where there is no basic infrastructure, no transportation.
You are asking us to in outskirts area for a home. That is affordable for me, and which is not possible for me. And for in heart of the city, I cannot afford it. So reasonable homes is my requirement, and government has promised me. So they need to give us. That's all. We want it.
Better infrastructure within the city for these guys to afford a home right in the middle of the city so that they don't have to go out, and getting the prices down so that it's possible for them to live and work within the city is the major requirement of the people who are opting for their first time house in the city of Pune. So let's hope that the government does something for them in this upcoming budget. This is Ruchi Deshpande for Magic Bricks now from Pune.
All right, 5 crore more homes. That is what is required currently to house every Indian and to realize the goal of housing for all by 2022. And developers are hoping that the upcoming union budget will give them the necessary momentum to deliver on these big numbers. Aishwarya Paliwal spoke to a cross-section of developers and consultants to find out just what exactly will spur the industry to make more affordable homes. Take a look.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi gladdened home buyers and developers when he announced Housing for All by 2022 on June 25th last year. The scheme hopes to rehabilitate slum dwellers by roping in private developers, granting credit-linked subsidies to developers, buyers and people building their own homes. However, after the fanfare, precious little was done on ground to actually incentivize developers to make these homes. And industry is hoping the union budget will address this.
Financing is a big challenge on the housing, and that needs to be really looked at it. Bringing in new technology and incentivizing the developers on bringing in new technology needs to be there. Land acquisition continues to remain a big challenge. So those are some of the things that I would say if the government at a state level and perhaps at a center level can focus, it will enable more housing to come in.
Speedier and simpler approvals, particularly from the Environment Ministry, tops developers' wish list. The logic being that the sooner they start work on the project, shorter will be the turnaround time, which will help developers cut down on costs. Another demand is easy access to finance.
I don't think we need any subsidies. I don't think we need any tax breaks, because asking for these things really means that the business is not viable on its own. Make FDI 100% and automatic in affordable housing rather than the present complex methodology that we have.
Affordable housing, in fact, is the most underserved of segments. That, however, does not mean that developers are not aware of its demand potential. In fact, a number of well-funded players are actively tapping this segment.
So Happinest has seen a steady rate in terms of sales. We've sold today about 1,000 units between the two projects, which is just a little over a year since the project was launched. Both the projects were launched. And to that extent, they've been clocking regularly about, say, 20-25 units a month.
A boost to this segment will not only house more people, it could also turn around the fortunes of a sector where demand has just begun to revive. This budget, the consumer as well as developers are waiting with bated breath to see if more measures like reduction in land cost and reduction in taxation will help them in making and buying more affordable homes. Now, with just a few days left for the finance minister to present this budget, the suspense will be over whether this year it will be easier for the common man to buy his dream house or not.
Away from all the budget action and on to all the big Magic Bricks Now exclusives. First up, Tata Housing is all set to make a big entry into the Noida market with its small home business Tata Value Homes. Magic Bricks Now learns that the company is scouting for joint venture or joint development partners for these projects, and my colleague Disha Shah joins us now with some exclusive details on the company's plans. Disha, Tata Housing is planning an affordable homes project after a long gap. Tell us what exactly does the company have up its sleeves?
That's right, Tata Housing is set to venture into the Noida market through its affordable housing arm, Tata Value Homes, to build affordable homes that will be priced from 18 lakh onwards, going up to 60 lakh rupees. This is a news that sources within the company has confirmed to Magic Bricks Now. And for this, the company is also set to explore joint venture and joint development with 4 local developers within this city. And sources within the company have also told us that out of the 4 developers, Logix Group is one of the company which is also into affordable housing segment and also has presence in commercial and retail. So this could be finalized sometime soon. Let's not forget that this is not the first project by the company under the affordable housing segment. They have launched 1 or 2 projects in the past in Boisar under the new Brand Heaven scheme. So with this the prices have started from 17 lakh rupee onwards. So lastly, the sources also tell us that we can expect some announcements on this by end of this quarter.
Disha Shah there with Tata Housing's small yet big plans. Thank you so much for bringing us an update. On to the other big Magic Bricks Now exclusive. In Navi Mumbai, marquee developers are queuing up to get a slice of the Naina pie. Magic Bricks Now learns that the Development Authority CIDCO has signed MOUs worth 30,000 crore rupees for development within the Greenfield city that will come up around the new international airport. And we have Ruchi Deshpande, who tracks that market, joining us with more details. Ruchi, tell us, who are the developers looking to build in Naina?
Well, there are 4 major developers with most of their projects in Navi Mumbai who have gone ahead and signed MOUs worth almost 20,000 crore rupees out of the 30,000 crore that you just mentioned. Now, most of these 4 builders will have their projects in Panvel area, which also incidentally comes under CIDCO's Naina, that is its project. Just to give you a bit more detail, we have at the first place we have Wadhwa Group who signed MOUs worth 10,000 crore rupees, followed by City Gold and Research who signed MOUs worth 4,900 crore, followed by Paradise Life Spaces who signed MOUs worth 3,000 crore, and lastly we have Marathon Group who has signed MOUs worth 2,000 crore. Now in all these MOUs that were signed last week during the Make in India week, what we exclusively learn in Magic Bricks Now is that Wadhwa Group is planning a residential project over the 400 acres that they have in Panvel. The developer plans to come up with luxury bungalows in the space that he has. Similarly, Paradise Life Spaces has about 40 acres of land under Naina, where they're planning to come up with luxury housing again. The ticket size for which will be 1 to 1.5 crore for a 1 to 2 BHK. And both these developers, when asked, say that they prefer Panvel mostly due to the upcoming infrastructure projects, that is the Mumbai Trans Harbour Link that will pass right through Panvel, as well as the Navi Mumbai Airport that is coming up. Now, what is interesting to note here is that while CIDCO wants most of the housing projects in Naina to be in the affordable segment, clearly these two are not aiming for that and going ahead for luxury housing instead.
Ruchi Deshpande there, keeping her eye on Naina and all that's brewing over there. Thank you so much for bringing us those exclusive details. Moving on. In what is probably a first-of-its-kind venture in the Indian real estate market, the Piramals will offer select developers lines of credit to finance their projects. The Piramal Preferred Partner Program has a corpus of 15,000 crore rupees. To begin with, Kavita Krishnan caught up with Khushru Jijina, Managing Director of Piramal Fund Management, and began by asking him what prompted the company to diversify from its existing NBFC, private equity and debt funding businesses. Listen in.
We actually are providing finance right from pure equity to construction finance. So it's not really we are in debt only. We used to look at deals deal by deal. So we were reactive in nature. And recently in the market, we have been seeing there's a lot of consolidation happening. So what do I mean by that is that the stronger developers are becoming stronger. Developers which have good track record, execution capabilities. So people are putting money behind them in terms of buying the flats. And the weaker developers are actually in distress. So this has given an opportunity for stronger developers to buy over their assets or do JDAs, etc., which gave us this idea that why not roll out a proactive sanction line. So as you rightly said, we keep on giving money via equity or debt. In fact, we disburse almost 1,500 to 2,000 crores per month in this space. But having said that, we decided that why not give a proactive sanction line to certain relationships of ours, which we call a tier 1 or alpha developers. This will help them to actually move faster in their acquisitions and give them a sense of financial closure. It always puts them in an advantageous or a superior position vis-a-vis the competition when they are doing this acquisition. That's the reason why we are launching this program.
You will partner only with developers who you've already partnered with for the preferred partner program?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the most important criteria, because having said that, we need to understand the counterparty. It's only with people whom we have a lot of comfort out of the so many, not to say that we don't have comfort with other developers. Out of probably 80 or 90 developers which we work today, in our first phase, we will roll out this to probably not more than 8 or 10 developers.
Our core viewership are home buyers. So let me ask you this on behalf of all the home buyers over there. You are taking a bet on the market, and everybody is sitting and looking at the real estate market right now, and they're wondering what to do, whether this is the right time to enter the market. You're taking a huge bet here. You're giving an open line of credit to certain developers. You believe consolidation is on. What is the confidence that you have in this real estate market, and what can home buyers learn from this?
No, I think if you really look at the last 4 or 5 months, consolidation has happened. It is happening. In terms of for the retail customers, I believe the prices have stabilized, and you're seeing it actually. You're seeing the good old days where the good developer is launching a project. It's actually getting, the pre-launches are getting sold out in one day. The only difference between the old time and today is that it's very selective. It is only with good developers, so which is very good. In other words, people are backing whom they can trust. So I think it's the right time to buy, and I mean it really, because the prices have stabilized, and this is the right time to get into a project which will take anywhere around 3 to 4 years or maybe 5 years to complete.
The Delhi Rent Control Act is outdated. So says the Delhi High Court. The High Court, while hearing a petition that challenged the legality of the Delhi Rent Control Act, called the act an archaic piece of legislation that violates the fundamental rights of landlords. The court asked the central and state government to furnish a list of properties which are currently under the Delhi Rent Control Act. We have Deepa Rana getting us all the details.
The Delhi High Court sought records from the centre and the state governments of properties that fall under the Delhi Rent Control Act. This was when the High Court was hearing a petition filed by the women landowners. Their advocate Shobha Agarwal pointed out that 50% of these properties get rent less than that of a daily wage earner, which is about 353 rupees per day. The association also claimed that many areas in Delhi like Paharganj, Civil Lines and other areas do not pay property tax. Also, the landowners do not pay property tax as the rent that they are receiving from their tenants is negligible. The tenants, on the other hand, also refuse to pay property tax, as they fear that once they start paying property tax, the property itself may come out of the Delhi Rent Control Act. Also, just to give you a little background of this act, the Delhi Rent Control Act is a major hindrance as it prevents aligning of rents to market rates. So the tenants who are paying less than 3,500 or up to 3,500 of rent do not need to pay property tax.
Moving on to a case that we've been tracking very closely here on Magic Breaks Now, the suicide of Thane builder Suraj Parmar. The lawyers of the 3 arrested corporators at the District Sessions Court have said that Parmar had shared business interests with political functionaries in Thane. They alleged that Parmar misused his connections to usurp public plots for personal gain. These allegations were made during the bail hearing of the corporators. The hearing remained inconclusive due to the absence of Special Public Prosecutor Raja Thakre. Remember, Suraj Parmar had shot himself with his licensed revolver in his office on the 7th of October last year. In a suicide note, he named the 4 corporators for threatening and blackmailing him. Magic Bricks Now will continue to track this case closely and get you updates as and when they unfold. Now, it's that time of the year when you plan your taxes. While you can claim tax benefits on your PPF, EPF and other fixed income instruments, you can also claim benefits on your home loan. However, taxation works differently for under construction and ready to move in properties. If your project gets delayed, you might just lose out on your tax benefit. Amita Balachandra finds out more.
2 BHK or a 3 BHK? Skyscraper or a villa? Under construction or ready to move in? While buying a home can be a complex process as it is, it's also important to plan your taxes and finances. Tax benefits differ for under construction and ready to move in properties. For instance, home buyers cannot claim tax benefits for under construction properties even though their EMI payments would have started. They can only do so after getting possession of their flats.
Within the limit of Section 80C, which is 1,50,000, along with other things such as your PPF or your insurance, you can claim for the principal repayments that you have actually paid during the year. As far as the interest is concerned, now that is a different kettle of fish. The current limit is 2 lakhs that you can claim in a year, provided your construction is completed in 3 years. Now there too there is a sub-clause or a sub-rider, you can say, that you can start claiming the interest from the year in which your construction is completed and you've received the possession.
However, you can avail the tax deduction on these EMI payments in 5 annual installments after getting possession. But this too comes with a caveat. The project you have invested in must be completed within a span of 3 years. If not, despite paying your pre-EMIs, the maximum benefit you can avail on the home you have purchased is just about 30,000 rupees.
What would happen if the construction is not completed within 3 years? Your 2 lakhs will come down to 30,000 rupees. So you will have to, and that too again, if the construction is not complete, you cannot claim it in that year. You will have to start claiming it only from the year in which the construction is complete.
Either way, the home buyer stands to lose in case of project delays. In fact, this has got the industry to stand up and demand for a higher tax benefit of up to 5 lakh rupees overall in the upcoming budget. With an industry grappling with project delays, what do you do as a home buyer?
Now this is something that you will have to test out in a court of law. I mean I cannot tell you that definitely you will win, but there's a very good chance that if it does go into a dispute with the department, that the courts might lean in your favor.
So make sure you read all the terms and conditions before you avail tax benefits on your home loans. Amita Balachandra for Magic Bricks Now.
And with that, we have run out of time over here. But if you have any feedback or suggestions for us, write to us on the email ID flashing on your screens. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so feel free to tweet to us or post your query on our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you. Also, remember to check out our live streaming website, www.mbnow.in. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news here on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
For me, Union Budget, as a young generation, it's more related to startups. Like, we do have benefits right now, but we would like to see more benefits because India is considered as a software hub for the overall world. We would like to see more benefits on that point also.